And we're back! Howdy y'all, this is Ethan Bonreal playing Oracle of Ages, and last time we were here, we weren't on this map. I actually went back to the start of the dungeon, because off-screen, I checked something out on the map, and as often happens when I check the map, my game froze. And what I basically observed was that, there's a chest that I actually missed, earlier on in the dungeon that we're gonna need to proceed. Because I spent a while fiddling around in that room we left off in, and I realized that you just really can't do anything there. So what we're going to go ahead and, if I stop being a noob for a second, what we're going to go ahead and do is go to that room after I save myself from dying. Out of here. And then we'll go on with our lives. So I actually did make it all the way to that room off-screen again. And I know what I need to do, so this should go by pretty quickly. How are y'all doing, by the way? It's been a while since I've recorded. Actually, had a part recorded for this, but I literally made like no progress, and then the sound fucked up, as I said in the Vindictus video. So I went ahead and just decided to axe that and record from scratch. Oh, dicks. Axe that and just like look at my map and figure out where I needed to go. But last time I was talking about bitch tracks, and I guess I should finish off that conversation, because I did promise I would. One of my favorite parts of bitch tracks is that it kind of shows, I kind of mentioned this last part, is it kind of shows intergroup, like, turmoil, which I guess is a kind way of me saying I enjoy people getting into it with one another, but, really, it just shows that really a really unique dynamic. One of the things I really like is that a lot of people really don't understand that not all people who do drags are just like people in cocktail dresses being sassy. Some people are wearing like pancake style makeup where it's just like caked on in layers and the stubble sticking through. A lot of people really don't, which is not to say that's bad, but I think that's just the image that a lot of people have, is that it's someone who's obviously a man, or a woman even, in a dress, or male clothing. But what I like, also, what I just did, you actually have to do it like this, or from the other side. I can't do it now because the chest is in the way. But you have to activate all three. So, this just a tip. I mean, this isn't really a walkthrough, but I figured I'd mention it. There we go. Alright, so now we're gonna head back out. But a lot of people conceptualize drag as just dudes in dresses, but a lot of people don't realize that there are some people who do drag as a part of self-expression, and they really aim for not just a comical or satirical look, but one that is like an expression of their personality. And what's very interesting is that bitch tracks often like comment on the, I guess, discord the discord between people of those two different groups, because some people, not everyone who does drag is a drag performer, and not everyone who's a drag performer performs in the same way. And what a lot of people in bitch tracks do, and what's especially interesting is that there are actually some trans women who do bitch tracks, which is very interesting, because it's really interesting to see. It's really interesting. I'm laughing just because, I'm thinking about a particular song while I'm talking about this, but it's really interesting to see like trans women really rip into drag queens and be like, so you want to be a woman, darling, let me show you what what that really requires. It's just really, it's everything I ever dreamed of, TBH. which is one of the things I like, because I think it for one points out that a lot of people really don't recognize that doing drag doesn't inherently, not all transgender people, and by not all, I mean being transgendered and doing drag are not the same thing inherently. I mean, much like any other human being, someone who's trans can do drag, but they're not necessarily. See, this is a bit of a complicated thing, because some people get out of here. Actually, consider all people to do drag or who are androgynous inherently part of the trans spectrum, but a lot of people on both sides actually have a problem with that because they feel that we actually already got this chest before. Get out of here. But when I scrapped the recording, we went back in time. So anyway, a lot of people just don't realize that oh yeah, that not everyone who does drag self-identifies as trans, and not all trans people identify. Actually, I would argue a lot of trans people don't identify with drag or drag culture. And it's just very interesting to see that kind of conflict, because it's kind of a, not necessarily a silent struggle depending on what kind of group you're in, but a lot of trans people really intensely dislike being viewed as doing drag, because the implication again is that you're just a man or woman, or a man wearing a dress or a woman wearing pants and a wife beater. I don't, you know, I haven't seen a drag king in person ever, but whatever. In any case, they just really dislike that stigma. And it's interesting to just see that conflict necessarily play out in kind of a sassy, sometimes playful, sometimes belligerent way. But regardless, I do love bitch tracks. They're everything I ever dreamed of. I'm actually writing one, Rofl, called Green Queen. It's about this person that I... Real talk time. So it's actually about this person I go to school with, who will remain unnamed, who one morning when I was walking to get breakfast, I was walking with my friend, and I heard these really loud orange, I heard this loud click clack, and I was like, girl, what is that? And he was like, I don't know. And it was kind of like that scene from Jurassic Park where... Fuck, okay, a little bit too slow. Okay. It was kind of like that scene from Jurassic Park with the T-Rex. In that, it was a glorious moment. I guess I should back up and explain that, is that, you know, I've been around gay people for a long time. I've been in the family for a long time, and one of the tall tale signs for me, let me lay it on you. If you don't have gaydar, a real good way to tell if someone is... A real good way to tell if someone is a queen is basically check if they're wearing flip-flops. I find that, I mean, I haven't run a power analysis on that shit or anything, but I'd say with like 50, give it like a 10 or 20% margin of error that if someone is wearing flip-flops in public in an unironic way, in a kind of bro-ish way, there's a good chance they're probably gay. What the hell? I ain't got no key. That's not good. Okay, let's see what I can do. That is definitely not good. I'm gonna risk trying to look at the screen Okay, we need to go back downstairs then. Ah! But, yeah, I find that it's a certain type of gay male. Not in particular all, but I found that it seems pretty it seems pretty consistent. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing to myself because it reminds me of a lot of people I know who I have affection for. I mean, I'm not making fun of them, but it's just there's certain aesthetics that gay men of this generation, or of my generation at least, particularly enjoy. Which is, I say my generation like I'm older than I am. I'm actually not that old, but whatever. Not that's a bad thing either. It's just very interesting to me. It's the flip-flops with the faux hawk and the stop if you've heard this one before. Flip-flops, faux hawk, maybe a trucker hat or some shit. A useless belt buckle. Trying to think. Sunglasses are a good one. Highlights. Bonus points for highlights. Faux hawk is optional, but highlights are... I find highlights to be a more... more common... sign. Which is not to say... I mean, again, all these things are aren't inherently, like, gay in air quotes. It's just... I find that... dicks... I need to figure out how to get to the other side of this map. Oh, dicks. Huh. Aren't inherently gay necessarily, so much as it's just a lot of the aesthetics kind of call out to a certain, group of men. Which is very interesting, because someone, and by someone I mean this wonderful person named Sophie Lamar, once brought up that a lot of gay men tend to kind of become the people they're attracted to, which is not necessarily true. But they kind of emulate the style of dress that they're attracted to, which I guess makes sense, but it's not I find that to not be 100% true, but at the same time, for some people it is really true. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people tend to really stay within their same scene, so to speak. Like, they only hang out with people, guys who are of a certain mold, and sometimes the same as themselves. But at the other side of things, there are plenty of people, I think, who aren't of a particular mold, in air quotes, who are very much so attracted to people who are of a different one, and at the same time don't really... Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? So, my next goal is to figure out how the hell to get... Oh, hey, that's neat. How the hell to get to those places that are on the lower floor one, the basement floor. Yes, I made it. But in any case. Yeah, I just find it can go either way, but for some people, it's particularly... I guess it's just... Sometimes it's really noticeable for some people where they only hang out with, like, people they're attracted to. Which is another interesting thing. Because I've found that the line between awkward and creepy is really kind of like... There's a thin line between awkward and creepy. And usually in my mind, that difference is really... I just went in a big circle. That difference is really mediated by how attractive the person who's judging someone to be creepy or awkward is. Although that's not necessarily true, but I find both of those are kind of rooted in people not being aware or, like, kind of fucking up social norms. But someone's more awkward than creepy if they're they're cute in a lot of cases, which is not actually 100% true, but I mean, it just that's what I've found, because I've seen people. One of my pet peeves that I see some people do is, like, they don't want to be with creepy old guys, in air quotes, but at the same time, the people they hook up with are almost equally creepy. I don't know why I just did that. Oh, I was looking for the boomerang, TBH, but it's not in this game. So I'm gonna actually probably maybe cut it soon. I'm gonna jump back down to the first floor and see if I can find a... Actually, what I'm gonna do first is flip the switch, and then I'm gonna go back up here. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I just got lost in my conversation like 3 times, Rofl. I've gone... I've gone a lot of places in this conversation. I'm kind of rambling. But, Nope. Okay, so it's gonna have to be on the right side of the dungeon. But in any case, yeah, the people they hook up with are just equally as creepy as the people they deem to be creepy old men. They just find them very sexy or attractive. Which is not to say necessarily there's anything wrong with that. Again, it's just a very interesting dichotomy where, you know, there are 2 groups of people that I've observed. I'm rambling a lot. I'm also tired. It's 7:34 a.m. Is that there are 2 groups of people it's gonna almost always be socially acceptable to be not nice to, and that's ugly people and people who are dumb. Or rather, let me rephrase that. People who are viewed as being ugly and people who are viewed as being dumb by society. Like, I really haven't found that many exceptions, and the ones that exist are, like... You know what? I probably need to go left, then down. I'm gonna do that, actually. Oh, shit. Unless they have, like, magical powers and can bless your child. Or they... You know what? I need to go in that one. Okay, that's what I need to do. So let's go for it. Alright, so once I get back over there, I'm gonna cut it, but... This is a very interesting dungeon, by the way. Oops, shit. There we go. Unless they have magical powers in which they can bless your baby, or they're like a soothsayer or oracle, people tend not to be that nice to people who are viewed as being stupid or ugly. And you know what? That fucking sucks, but that seems to be reality. And I think that extends to that situation where, really, people literally get, like, mortally offended if someone they're unattracted to occupies or, like, voices attraction to them. Which is not always 100% true. Not everyone is like, wow, I'm unattracted to you, so I'm gonna be mean to you. But I find that with not necessarily a large portion of people, but a noticeable one. And... okay, I promise I'm gonna cut it after I get out of this fucking hole. XD hole. Oh, there we go. There we go. How convenient that I got the command of Samaria here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. I'll continue on this conversation after the break. Leave me alone, Keys.